Hey friends, it's Thorn. Hello. This is just kind of a casual update video, so I'm probably going to get rambly. But I wanted to check in, say hello, tell you what's going on with me, see what's going on with all of you, and I don't know, probably get nostalgic. I'm feeling a little nostalgic these days. So I finished the manuscript for my next book. It's tentatively titled Next Level Witchcraft. That's its working title, so it could very well be something else in the next couple of months once we've sat down with a marketing team and whatever. But that's what I'm calling it in my head. That's what I've been calling it online so far. But don't get attached to it. I don't know how I feel about it myself, but it did sort of seem to make sense. It's about plateaus and burnout, and it's about kind of taking things to the next level regardless of where you are. I've tried to write it in such a way where exercises are differentiated and my language is differentiated in such a way that a beginner can read it, a coven leader could read it, somebody who is more advanced could read it, and leave with some ideas about what to do to kind of refuel and revamp some of kind of the core building blocks of a witchcraft practice, like ritual, constructing sacred space, magic, devotional work, community building, etc. So like those are chapters. Anyway, it's taken me a really long time to write, and that's because just on a practical level, I work a full-time job, I am a student, I have a family, obviously I'm doing other things with my life aside from writing. So that's a factor, but also, unlike traditional Wicca, a seeker's guide, Next Level Witchcraft was really written very much while I was in the process of kind of living the things that I'm talking about. I wrote it through a period of burnout and through a period of frustration. And work computer. I'm on the clock. Don't tell anybody. It's fine. And anyway, I had to really sort of live the things I was talking about and process them as I was going through them and then decide how I wanted to convey them. And also just dealing with the struggle of why the fuck am I writing this? Who am I to be writing a book? Part of it is imposter syndrome, but most of it actually is just, I think, having some real critique about book writing and publishing and kind of pagan media and the consumption of witchcraft. And I don't know, I feel like I have a lot of these larger questions that raise really important, I think, I don't know, things to think about what it means to be a pagan author, a witch internet personality, whatever. I think that there are some real kind of ethical questions there that should be addressed, and it's not a question of just churning out books because one can. So I was wrestling with all of that while I was writing it. And something that has always been really important to me as a blogger, as a YouTuber, as a writer, as somebody who participates as a speaker at pagan events, whatever, I really don't like repeating other people. I don't like repeating content that's already out there. I feel like if you don't have something new to say, or if you don't have, I don't know, a fresh approach to things that have already been said before, I didn't want to just churn out material that's already available. That's always been really important to me. That was the impetus behind traditional Wicca. It was a book that didn't exist previously. There's nothing else like it. And I don't think that there's anything like Next Level Witchcraft right now. I think part of that is because I'm coming at it kind of from a classroom teacher background. I use a lot of those strategies really consciously. So anyway, it means that I'm slower. It means that I take forever to do things sometimes. Anyway, that's not what I meant to talk about. But now that the book is done, I have this waiting period where folks at Llewellyn read it. They'll come back to me eventually with feedback, ideas, and I'll have a period of time where I can make changes. So in the meantime, I'm kind of in limbo, and I'm like out of book jail, and it's very liberating, and I can kind of do whatever I want, and I'm feeling creative again in a way that I haven't in several years, which has been really fun. And I'm channeling that mostly into music. I have been very consciously like not writing things, which is great. And I also haven't been hanging out on social media. So, you know, I love the internet. Like, you all know that. I've been on YouTube for like a decade at this point. I have built some of my best communities and made some of my best friends through the internet. So this isn't me shitting on social media as a whole or shitting on the internet or online relationships or whatever. But there's something really insidious about how we, I think, engage with the internet and social media in particular. I find, and I've been conscious of this for years, but particularly in the last year, as I have felt the pressure to kind of step up what I'm doing and turn it into a marketing platform, right? Like monitoring views and monitoring followers, and, you know, Instagram kind of rewarding you at particular levels for your follower count and whatever. And like, these are the strategies that you can use to manipulate an algorithm and whatever. And like, all of that stuff is fine if you're a marketer. I'm really not a marketer, and I'm not sure that I want to be. Like, I'm really on the fence about some of those things, because on the one hand, as a pagan writer, we have to be marketers. Like, Llewellyn really doesn't market our books for us. Why is it like most publishers, most of these very small publishers, because like Llewellyn and Weiser, in the grand scheme of publishing, are tiny. And I say that as somebody who works in publishing for another large publisher. Like, when you look at Llewellyn's just size, their numbers, their staff, like, they're minuscule compared to some of the big names that you probably think of, like HarperCollins, Simon Schuster, right? Like, so they're not out there spending millions of dollars to promote individual authors. Like, that doesn't happen. The authors who you see who are kicking ass out there, a lot of them are kicking ass because they're kick-ass marketers. And thank goodness, because nobody's going to do it for them a lot of the time. Like, that's something that we understand coming on board, which is why it's so important to have a platform, to be online. It's why, like, if you're going through YouTube and you're just like, damn, all these people are always trying to just sell me something, it's because nobody else is going to do it for us, you know? So it's just kind of a necessary thing about being any sort of content creator today, whether you're an author or a musician or a tarot reader or whatever. Like, if you don't promote yourself, nobody else is going to do it for you. But what that's done to me personally is it's really kind of tainted my experience on the internet, because I've started to view things strategically in a way that makes me really uncomfortable. Like, when I catch myself doing it, like, this is an opportunity, you know? And I got on YouTube because I was lonely. I didn't have friends who were involved in paganism the way I was. I certainly didn't have witch friends at that point. I was really isolated, and like, YouTube looked very different 10 years ago. Like, now every channel kind of looks the same. People put out the same kind of videos, but it used to be a platform where those of us making pagan videos, making witchcraft videos, we were really just kind of in communication with each other. You'd see people post 10, 20-minute rambly videos aimed at specific people, and video responses were done in such a way that videos were linked. So like, it really looked like a conversation. And that's, if you go back to my early channels, there's a lot of that kind of stuff. There's video responses, there's vlogging. You didn't see really slick, 8-minute videos about how to do a spell, or how to, I don't know, like, how to interpret a tarot card or whatever. Like, now we come to YouTube very much as an educational platform, and I'm not always certain that it's great for that. Like, it can be, but it's certainly not why all of us are here. People often ask me to make how-to videos, and I just don't, aside from my, like, maybe misguided, ridiculous candle making video. But like, and it's because I find, like, personally, I think that stuff is boring, because that's not why I'm here. I'm here to make friends, to build community, to participate in something with other people. It was never about like having thousands of subscribers because I wanted to be a teacher and I wanted to teach people about witchcraft and I wanted some kind of platform where I was like, I don't know. That was just never the intention. And it wasn't the intention on Instagram either. Like Instagram was very much about keeping up with my friends and finding others who were into the same sorts of things. I made friends in the early days of Instagram. Like I made friends online who became friends in real life, who I've subsequently like gone to visit and traveled with. And I really think like the internet is this amazing thing that allows us to do that. But if we view it exclusively as just kind of this money-making, self-promoting, whatever vehicle, I just haven't found a balance where I can enjoy social media and my time on the internet while also promoting myself as an author. Like, and this isn't necessarily about anything inherent with the system. This is my personal failing. I understand that. But I haven't figured it out. And the result is that when I get onto Twitter, when I get onto Instagram, when I get onto YouTube, it mostly just makes me feel shitty. Like, yeah, and that's not it. Like, that's not anybody's fault, okay? Like, that just, I don't know. I think some of the stuff that gets circulated online is specifically designed to make people feel inadequate, to make them buy things, to make creators and other writers and artists and musicians feel like they're not doing enough. And like, I know I'm not doing enough. You know what I mean? Like, of course I'm not doing enough because I'm doing other things also. If I devoted my whole life to writing books and selling books and speaking and marketing myself as a witchcraft teacher, then like, of course I would, have more kind of to show for that. But I don't. Like, I choose to spend my time elsewhere. I'm obligated to spend my time elsewhere in most cases. And that's okay. And like, if you find yourself in that position too, like that's also okay. Like both of those ways of being are fine. But I think having a good sense of boundaries, like what am I really trying to get out of my feed? What am I really trying to get out of my time on the internet? I also found that I was just really like, iPhone has this thing where you can see your screen time, and like, it's kind of appalling to me to see that I've been on my phone for like 3 to 5 hours out of a day. Like something that is just extraordinary. And that number is skewed a bit because, of course, that includes things like using your phone as a GPS when you go somewhere or listening to music or whatever. But damn, like that's 3 to 5 hours that I could spend writing or playing music or hanging out with my husband or I don't know, just anyway, since I have kind of taken a break from being so like obsessive about that stuff, I've just found that I have more energy for witchcraft. Like I'm more enthused about my craft. I'm spending a lot more time, in my personal magical spaces, doing magical work. And like, that's the thing that really is refueling me at this point, not connection with other people or like, it's always good to hear when people appreciate your work, but like, that can't be the thing that fuels me religiously. You know what I mean? Like that refueling has to come from a connection with my gods, a connection with my tradition, etc. And I think for too long, the emphasis has been like, well, how well is the book selling? Are you ready to do another book? What's your next book? Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know if there will be a third book, frankly. So we'll see. But it just feels really good to get back to, kind of 10 years ago when I was just, using the internet for me and exploring for me and reading for me. So it's great feeling refueled and feeling more centered. So anyway, I just wanted to reflect on that a little bit. None of those thoughts are very well formed, okay? And I might feel differently tomorrow, but that's kind of where my head is right now. Things are really good. The new semester has started. What else? I don't know. I hope you all are well. And anyway, what are you up to? Let me know in the comments. And what's your internet experience like? Do you feel this too, especially other content creators, writers, artists, musicians, whatever your lowercase c craft is? How do you navigate the potential headache of social media? Like asking for a friend.